Wow, you're suffering fatigue by now, I know. I'll try and make it entertaining as well as respectful. Talking about Chuck Schramek, who was an absolute case. That's just all there was to it. He was one of the smartest men I've ever known in my life. He was an early adopter with all things digital and computerized, and when he bought a new one, I got the old one. It was awesome. He was an amazing guy. I have to tell you, I'm really glad to be here today, and I don't mean, seriously, really glad. Because they're building a house next door to mine in Houston, and all day long it's hammers and nail guns and skill saws, oh my. So this is a really a beautiful little town. I don't think I've ever been here as an adult. Maybe when I was a kid and we traveled through, but we're just here to talk about Chuck Schramek, and I'll tell you, this kind of sums him up from the very, very beginning. He was in high school in Des Moines, Iowa. He was already a ham radio operator and was interested in a lot of things like that. And the man went out and bought a little cheap tape recorder, reel-to-reel, battery-powered, took it home, did his own radio show on there, then went to the radio station, found out where the connection was for the audio to go to the transmitter, unplugged that, plugged in went home and listened to himself on the radio. He never told me how much trouble he got into on that. I don't know. But it did not dissuade him from pursuing a career in radio. And I was lucky enough to get him here, and I say here, I live in Houston, where I did 17 years of morning shows, 10 of them with Chuck Schramek. And he was a true friend and a huge, huge influence on my life. He was so smart. I mean, it was scary. I was so glad he was my friend because he did love a good prank. And he didn't ever do anything that crazy to me. Although he did do a few things, like when fax machines finally got to be accepted everywhere and everyone was using them to communicate, he, in his digital wonderfulness, found out how to spoof the phone number that appears on your fax so that no one could tell where it came from. There was a radio station in Houston, I don't remember which one it was. They were doing traffic like a lot of us did in those days. You do the traffic and then there was a 5 or 10 second tag that was the sponsorship. There was a station, this station had an agency, and the agency was a representative of Kroger, and they changed the item that they wanted to sell every day. They faxed it to the radio station from the ad agency. And the guy that did traffic would do the traffic, and then he'd reach over and grab the piece of paper and read whatever it was on sale at Kroger that day. Well, Chuck supplanted the official item that was being sold that day, and whoever was doing traffic did not pre-read what came off the fax machine. And he said, "That's traffic brought to you by Kroger, where today you can buy road-ready flat snacks for only 99 cents. That's right, road-ready flat snacks, 99 cents at your local Kroger." The hotlines ran everywhere. It was amazing. All of the radio. It was good to have a guy like him around. It really was. I mean, the radio isn't just all chits and grins. But with him around, there was many more grins than the other thing that I said there. I just realized that I said that. Trying to be myself, what can I tell you? Chuck wrote the first music selection program that I ever knew of, long before the ones that became well-known in the industry. His did not become well-known because they gave it away to the 6 stations in our particular ring of radio stations. At any rate, his phone rang constantly in the middle of the night. "How do I do this with this thing? You won't play it." Blah, blah, blah. He gave it away. He gave it to them free and said, "Don't call me anymore. I don't want to hear about this." To him, the fun was doing the programming. That's the kind of guy he was. He was like Mensa material. He truly was. I'm not sure what else I've left out here except to say that he was a huge friend of mine and a great, great influence on my radio program. And I only taught him one thing, I think, in my life, and I call it the Ed McMahon's syndrome, where he came in to meet me in 1981, I think it was, and he was taking over my show. The guy was so funny. I mean, he was hilarious. And I'm being Ed McMahon, and I'm like second banana the whole time. And we were great, great friends. There were so many things that we loved together. We loved aviation, we loved space, we loved all these things. We hung out together all day, practically every day, unless somebody had a doctor's appointment or something, you know. So, I mean, we were just really a pair. But oh gosh, I completely lost it here, I really did. Oh yeah, okay. Here's the kind of thing you would do when you're hanging out with Schramek. He had a radio scanner. We would listen to fire reports and, you know, there's some cops and one thing or another. And eventually, cell phones came along. And we found out that we could hear cell phone conversations on this scanner. They weren't encrypted yet. We would sit around and laugh our collective tushies off at the stuff that we heard, including, "No, I told her I had to work late. I'll be there in 15 minutes. They had no idea they were being recorded. This was Schramm world. It really was. And I had 10 years of that, and I couldn't be happier about it. I'm very unhappy that he passed away in 2020, with 2 zeros at the end, 2000. After all this stuff, I know you're getting worn out. He was a great friend of mine. He was a great guy to have around. He knew how to do news that wasn't depressing, which is one of the things that I insisted on and that made our show great. But it never would have been as great as it was if it weren't for Chuck Schramek. Please join me in welcoming him to the Texas Radio Hall of Fame.